The bank acknowledges it signed up 490,000 customers for auto insurance when they already had insurance. Tens of thousands wound up in default. That affected people's credit scores, and thousands had their cars repossessed. Ira Reingold is the head of the National Association of Consumer Advocates.
What we're seeing here is a colossal failure of management on behalf of Wells Fargo.
Reingold says the bank has a long way to go in its ongoing reform efforts from an earlier scandal where millions of customers got credit cards and checking accounts they didn't want. Wells Fargo says it is setting aside $80 million to reimburse customers. Chris Arnold, NPR News.
Factory orders showed some signs of increasing in June, though it's worth noting that often volatile orders for aircraft played a major role in that rise. Commerce Department says factory orders were up 3% in June, a solid rebound after a decline in May and April. Excluding the transportation sector, orders fell 0.2%. Stocks showed signs of slipping in terms of the broader market, though the 30 stocks that make up the Dow held onto their perch above the 22,000 mark. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 9 points to close at 22,026. The Nasdaq closed down 22 points today. You're listening to NPR.
As usual, we are loaded with stories and opinions, and quite possibly the funniest tech-related story I've ever heard. Plus, will we ever hear from Bruce again? Stay tuned to find out. Coming up next.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, technologic.
Live from studios in South Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Welcome into the Hey Techies Show. I hope everybody's doing well this evening. And if you're not doing well, then I guess call in and tell us their tech issue and why you're not doing well. And you can call us at 256-782.
Oh, this is my line, right? 5600.
And be on the Hey Techie Show. Plus, in addition to that, you know where to go, heytechieshow.com, to either watch us, listen to us. If you can't hear us on the radio, you can hear us online, and you can see our beautiful faces and interact.
Yeah, whatever.
And the back of Guru's head, yep. And interact with us on social media, such as Facebook mostly, but we do a chat too right off our website. It's basically through YouTube, so you can actually access it through the YouTube feed. So if you'd like to connect with us, please go there. You can also just send us questions at heytechieshow.com, and we'll be glad to answer your question. Well, Guru, how are you doing this evening?
Doing fantastic.
As usual, Guru is doing fantastic. Man, I had a wild, just an unusual afternoon.
Hold on a minute. But we're missing something.
No, we're not missing anything.
Yeah, we are.
No.
I couldn't resist.
Oh, well, I don't blame you.
Where in the world is Bruce?
Well, I tell you, I really don't know. I will say this. From my understanding.
All right, your understanding.
Okay, my understanding. Bruce's wife's birthday is today.
Oh, happy birthday!
I believe that is correct.
Mrs. Bruce.
Yeah, Mrs. Bruce, and happy birthday to her. And it was he had every intention of not being here.
As usual,
and so it took place.
Well, but what it really is we hit a milestone a couple weeks ago. Episode
that
100,
is true. That is
and
true.
We're trying to change things up to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Bruce did not fit into our future plans.
Well, he felt like he was such the talent. He was afraid that he was taking over the show.
We're just kidding. Bruce will hopefully be back next week.
His ambiance was just, completely taking over the show.
Well, Bruce will be back next week. Good Lord willing.
So did you have a pretty good day today, Guru?
It has been so busy. I've told somebody earlier at work that I felt like I've run the marathon while sitting at my desk. Just having to jump between different things, and it's just been getting closer and closer to the start of fall semester. It's always a busy time.
Oh, yes.
So tell us about your day. I know I interrupted you earlier. Tell us.
Oh, no.
You're about to go into it. I know we're all ears.
Oh, by the way, just a heads up real quick, by the way, in case you were confused, okay, in case something happened this week that you were confused, Bob Barker did not die.
No, he did not.
I just wanted, that was not true. So just bringing people off the ledge because
you are fake news.
That's fake news.
Bruce, we text with Bruce during the week a lot of times, and we talked to him via text most of the time. But he was concerned. He believed a possibility that he saw that Bob Barker might have died, and he was about to shout no in the middle of Target until he found out it was fake news. So anyway, but that's funny, Bruce. You almost got him, Guru. Almost got him.
It almost got me because I was believing it there for a few seconds.
Yeah, well, dogs and cats everywhere were hoping for that he might be deceased. I don't know.
But one thing, Drew Carey, who took over
Yes.
the hosting duties of Price is Right several years ago, he still says that. Don't forget to get your pet spayed or neutered.
Oh, he does?
He does. Yes, he does.
I agree.
And he does it genuinely. He believes in that cause as well.
Right.
So,
right. Well, I did have an interesting afternoon.
well, please tell us. Please tell us.
I tell you what.
This is only a 2-hour show.
Oh, yeah, right. So recently, I purchased a car. Well, I mean, I've talked about this.
Yeah,
before.
fancy set of wheels.
It is.
It's more fancy than Bruce's set of wheels.
I know that is not true. You and Bruce have a newer vehicle. Mine's older.
New doesn't necessarily mean more fancy.
Okay. Let me say it this way: some things about the vehicle are, but some of the technology in the vehicle is 2008 technology. You're talking about the radio. It's not quite as good as what you would find today. It doesn't pick up stations as well as a current new radio would. Or does, for that matter. And different manufacturers are better. Some radios are better than others. I've had several different cars, so I mean, I know. But that's just one thing I was explaining. Well, anyway, that really didn't have anything to do with the story. I have learned a ton in this purchase of this vehicle. I think I could go out now with the knowledge I have about this particular vehicle and go help you purchase one, and we could look over the vehicle, and I could check for all the major problems that these vehicles may or may not have, you see.
Okay.
But going into that, I really didn't have that. I didn't really have the knowledge of that.
Yeah.
Now, the vehicle I got, I love and enjoy, but apparently, when I got out to the car, no, I guess it wasn't apparently, it became apparent when I got out to the car that after work that I couldn't get into it.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely.
Access denied.
Access denied. Absolutely couldn't get. Now, I've known for weeks, and so it's on me, that it kept telling me my key fob battery was low. Well, low.
I'll get around to it.
Low doesn't mean dead. Well, apparently, eventually, low means dead, because this afternoon, low was dead.
Now, how does it tell you your fob is low?
It tells you on the screen.
The car
tells you, yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, the car right before sometimes when you cut it off, the car will tell you, it's low.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so it's supposed to have a key, which it does in the fob, and there's a way to take it out and an actual key in the driver's side. Well, apparently at some point in the vehicle's lifetime before I got it, this year, my friend, our friend of the show, Andrew, he stopped by. He said, my guess is that somebody had to open it the old-fashioned way. They locked their vehicle up, a key or whatever, or couldn't get into it. And when they do that, sometimes they break this piece, he said, in there, and now it won't that lock, while it'll turn, it won't unlock the door.
Okay.
It's a mechanical lock. It's not one that would open all the doors. It just unlocked that one.
Right.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
So, if you're going to go out and buy one of these things, and you're buying a used vehicle, not a new vehicle, this all stuff should work. But I mean,
even eventually batteries go
I
dead.
know, but what I'm getting at is when you're going to purchase one, you should expect all of this type to work. But you really should if it's a fob with a key inside that you don't have keyless, you don't have to, you push a button to open it. You don't have to get your key out at all. You really need to get the dealer or wherever you're buying it from to open it with that key to make sure that key's going to work.
Right.
That the door, it's just something I didn't think about.
I wouldn't have thought of it either.
But I have learned over the past 2 or 3 months that I've had the car, I've learned some interesting things. By the way, it's an '08 Lexus ES3.
Like I said, a fancy car.
Well, it is, but
fancy.
It is, but I enjoy it.
Well, I'm glad you do. I'm proud for you.
I really enjoy it. But now,
does it drive itself? Oh, that's right.
It does not drive
not
it. Thank the Lord, it does not drive itself. You have to have a physical driver.
2008. I don't think there was nobody's radar about self-driving cars. I mean,
that's a good question.
Out in La La Land, like research maybe, but like no one thought a decade later we would have.
Need to look that up. We'll do it in one of our 30-second breaks.
Have to be real quick about it.
Yeah, we'll check that
anyway,
out.
Go ahead.
But anyway, it was very odd. It was just not something you expect when you get off work. And it wasn't burning up hot. So my wife had to come up here from where she worked, and she was fine about it.
So you had to get another
battery. I have
battery.
a wonderful wife. Well, I did. I went down to a local store here, auto parts store, and they just happened to have the battery.
Just happened to have it.
Yeah, but they're not cheap. That one of those batteries is $5. It's not expensive, but for one,
it's probably a special size.
It's a 1632. It's a small one.
Okay.
CR 1632.
Like a little button cell battery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's what I want to finish this up with.
Okay.
If you're in the market for a used car, like I always am, I'm just not going to go. There's certain things I would like to have in a vehicle, but I can't go buy one new because it's just so blooming expensive. So I found one that I liked the features. It was nice. I had to go way off to get it. It was in Tennessee, and I think I mentioned that before. But if you're looking for a vehicle, this is what I highly suggest: go to YouTube or go online to your web browser and find the make model you want and search for known issues. And in YouTube, a lot of the times you'll just search for that model of that, and it'll come up with videos of people fixing problems on the vehicle. That way you can, especially if it's used, is what I'm getting at. No warranty used.
Yeah.
Go do that because you can find, as I have now after the fact, things I should have checked out beforehand. Things that I should have looked at before, and I've learned a lot in this process. Some people say, oh, that's common knowledge. Yeah, it may be, but to some, maybe you never thought about it. So there's a lot of tech involved in these vehicles and a lot of things to think about.
One thing to mention, I'm not sure the website. We'll have to research it, maybe put it in show notes. But the looking for recalls.
Oh yeah, right.
And when you were saying that, brought to mind my brother-in-law. He was telling me that he has a fairly new truck, but he was telling me there's a recall with like the rear differential, like
that's
it's leaking
correct.
oil.
Does he have a Toyota?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, okay, I know about that one actually. I don't have a Toyota, but I was getting my oil.
Yeah, he took it to the dealership and they checked it, and like, yours is barely leaking. It's still drivable. Right now, they've ordered the part, so when the part comes in, he'll take it down there, and it's about a 5 or 6 hour job to change that out. So it's a involved job.
And I found out that it's like 1 or 2 or 3% of the whole unit sold that actually have this issue.
He's a 1%er then,
or something like that. It's a small percentage, as I understood.
Well, his effect is they're having to order the part, and
right?
It's going to be it's like a 6 hour job to change it out.
Wow, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, so.
Well, anyway, it was a very interesting afternoon. It was not what I was expecting. You don't get at. I mean, I was the last thing. The worst thing is when I was talking to our good friend Andrew. He said, "Well, if it's the car battery that's dead, that's really going to be a problem." And I said, "Yeah,
probably lose some sort of programming with the."
If it's the car battery, see, I couldn't get in the regular way, so I would have to get somebody to blow up. He mentioned, I forgot the tool, but it's that tool that goes in the top of the window up above, and it sort of pops your door out a little bit, and then then it goes. You don't go through the window. You go up above where the door connects to the car.
Yeah, the seal of the car.
Yeah, the seal of the car. You go through there, and then you can get down in there and pull the latch. So. Anyway, it didn't sound good, but thankfully it was just a fob, which I thought it probably was.
Yeah, I think you were sending me a message while I was still in a meeting.
Yeah, I was parked right next to you out front today, so I was thinking, well, he may come out here eventually and see me standing here.
No, I was still in a meeting.
So anyway. Well, look, we are loaded, no kidding, not just personal stories, but we got all kind of stuff. And so when we come back, we'll start queuing up our show here with all kind of tech articles. Maybe we'll be blessed with your call tonight. The Hey Techies Show will return.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show.
What are you going to shake your head about?
Because we're going to get our show silenced again, man. We got to figure that out on YouTube. I still got to work
We're doing that thing we do.
I know.
As the song says.
I know. It's great.
So, little pop quiz. You know what movie that song's from?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, good.
Yes, I sure do. It's not called One Hit Wonder, though.
No.
The Wonders.
That's the
band. It's the Wonders.
The Wonders.
Oh, what's the name of it? Doing That Thing You Do. Isn't that the name of it?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
I like
that was Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
It was his first movie he directed, and he also starred in it.
Oh, yeah,
too.
he did. Yeah, he did a good job. That is a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really good.
Liv Tyler's in it.
What was funny, well, not funny, it was amazing, they made that song for the movie.
Right.
They wrote it for the movie.
Sure.
They cast actors that some of them couldn't even play.
Right.
They couldn't even play instruments. They had to go to boot camp to learn how to play percussion and bass and all those different things so they could at least appear that they were actually playing it. But here's the thing, though. The song, it rose in the real charts. It was way on up there.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have looked that up beforehand, but anyway, I'll look it up in here in a second. That's very interesting. You know, basically a fictional hit for a movie became a hit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, as I understand it, it was a one-time thing. That's pretty much they had that hit, and that was pretty much it. One and done.
Yep. One and done.
Yeah. Well, last week.
Yeah, hit 21 on the Billboard 200 album chart.
Okay. There you go.
Well, I guess the album hit number 21. But anyway, go ahead.
Last week, we had an interesting show title name. All right. It was Bomb Diggity.
It's the Bomb Diggity. What's the title?
It's the Bomb Diggity.
I think at some point during the show, I made mention of that term. That's how we got to that title. Because I think afterwards you said that's what we're going to call it. I said, okay.
Yes, and I did. I really don't think I'd heard it.
And let me take over from here because Michael was like, I've never heard that term. Now, we got off the air. He's like, how do you spell that? So
yeah, I did. Yeah,
I had to spell it.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly. I mean,
I picked that up somewhere. I don't know how long ago, but I was like, this is a thing, or am I just making this up? So I went to the internet like we always do to search, to research it, and
with a big I.
This is from Urban Dictionary. So I'm going to educate you tonight, Michael. You ready?
Okay.
So Bomb Diggity is an adjective.
Yes.
And the definition is a description of something that is better than excellent, great, good, amazing, etc.
We're etc.
Yeah, we may be, but that's okay.
Etc.
To use it in a sentence.
Yes.
Yo, those shoes are the Bomb Diggity.
Yo, that Hey Techie show is the Bomb Diggity.
That's right. So there you go. There's your education for tonight, Michael.
Well, there we go.
Bomb Diggity. This show is among the things that are bomb diggity.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. The bomb diggity. Well, you know something, I don't have this article on me, so we'll have to get it later, but I wanted to, I know I sent it to, maybe I didn't send it to you. I don't know where I sent it to. I must have sent it to space. I don't know. Yeah. Well, anyway, you've probably seen it, so you can just pick your local news source. But there was a report where, Mr. Al Gore, it is said that he uses 34 times the electricity at his home than the average household.
That's 34?
34 times. I guess in a year.
Mr. I'm the most green person in the world.
On the planet. Uses...
We're going green.
He's not going green at all.
Oh, yeah, he's the most green person on the planet.
Not.
Well,
34
times. That's what it said. 34 times. The more. Wait a minute. Maybe it was 30. See, I really need the article. It might have been 34% more. Maybe that was it.
I think it was 34 times. I remember you sharing that with me at some point this past week, and
it was more than the average person in the United States. Something more. It was either 34% more or...
I'm scrolling back through our conversation.
I know,
here
but
I
just
find
I
it.
don't
But
know
I'm thinking it was 34 times because it was very shocking. Statistic or fact, fake news, real news, whatever news. I think this is real news. It don't surprise me, Mr. I invented the internet. I guess you know why? Because the internet runs through his house. He has to have a lot of equipment to run the internet.
Yeah, it was from the
that's why it's using more. That's why it's using so much.
It was from the Daily Caller. So 34 times more electricity than average U.S. household. Here it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
34 times.
Yeah, it says. Oh, here we go. Typical family uses an average of 10,812 kilowatts, and it says here somehow they got a hold of this. According to a new report by the National Center for Public Policy Research. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. Gore burned through enough energy to power the typical American household for more than 21 years, according to the report.
For real?
That's what it says. 230,000 kilowatt hours at his Nashville residence.
Oh, my goodness. 200 in 1 month?
So no. What does it say? Well, I'm looking at that and I can't.
200 and I've got it pulled up here. I'm just trying to compare something. But go ahead.
It says over 12 months. Over the last 12. Let's see. September alone devoured. I guess this was last year. 30,000 kilowatt hours
in 1 year or 1 month. I'm sorry.
It says last September alone.
30,993.
30,993.
I'll see what I used last September. I'm trying to get to it. Hang on. Excuse me. Last September. That's a good song too, by the way. Last September. Let's see. Yeah, my bill was high that month. Well, don't tell me the usage. Come on now, Alabama Power out.
Well, at any rate. But what's most interesting?
Well, I'll say this. Last month, I used 1,700 kilowatt hours in my house.
There you go. 1,700. Of course, you and your mom. I don't know what we use at my house. 1,700.
That's just ridiculous, Al Gore. Now get it together.
Well, I mean, I frankly don't care. He can use whatever it is. If just leave everybody else alone.
That is true.
It's like I don't care what you use.
It's like these other people that claim, we're using too much fossil fuel, and they go from speaking engagement to speaking engagement in a private aircraft.
Yeah,
one of the most like a private jet.
Yeah,
and I know you got to get from like across the country, and you can't take days to get there, so you're gonna have to fly. But how about just fly on the airline with everybody else? Really?
Right.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm starting to rant. I'll be quiet for now.
Oh, gracious. Well, anyway, there you go. That's one of the useless, I guess, stories I have on my docket.
Well, this one's not useless that I've got here. Now, I wish Bruce was here. Man, I'm missing Bruce.
Well, let's see how well I do.
Okay. So this came out on the 31st. This is the first part of this week. Russia, starting November 1st, is going to ban anonymous web surfing tools.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
President Vladimir Putin has signed a law that prohibits forms of technology that grant access to banned websites in Russia, effective November 1st. The ban covers services that allow people to use the internet anonymously, such as virtual private networks, VPNs, and proxies. And internet providers will have to block websites that host these services. And there's more of this article, but that's kind of the first little bit of it. So,
well,
that was my Windows Defender summary.
Windows Defender is telling you can't use it in Russia.
Obviously. Anyway, so yeah. So starting November 1st, basically you won't be able to use a VPN, among other things, in Russia to try to surf anonymously to get around their where they're blocking certain websites that the government feels you shouldn't go to.
Mm-hmm. Gee, I wonder what that list is. Wonder what.
It's a good question. I know one thing. I mentioned this to a coworker, and they're
Whitehouse.gov.
That's probably one of them.
Probably one of them.
DonaldTrump.com.
DonaldTrump.com. Oh, Donald Trump's Twitter page.
Oh, yeah, real Donald Trump, Twitter.com.
Yeah, probably.
No, but somebody I work with, they know somebody who's right now serving in Ethiopia in, I think it's Peace Corps. It may be another job. Anyway, they're a U.S. citizen, but they're in Ethiopia right now. And there's times, this is fairly frequent over there, the government will just cut the internet off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
They'll just shut it off.
Yeah, we had a story.
Kill switch.
Yeah, right. We had a story about that one day when they shut it off for students cheating. Don't you remember that?
Yeah, but they'll just cut the whole thing off.
Right, I know.
I mean, you're done. No internet.
Yeah, no internet. Yeah. If you get out of line, they're going to put you back.
This article does talk about a website blacklist that Russia has. It was introduced in 2012, and it was originally meant to apply to sites that had
illegal drugs,
illegal drugs, child pornography, and suicide. But a 2013 amendment expanded to any content that's, quote, suspected of extremism, end quote.
Oh, that's open-ended.
The amendment allows for flexible interpretation, letting Russia ban any material that criticizes its views or appears to weaken the government's power. In 2015, for example, Russia briefly blocked both Reddit and Wikipedia over several pages that contained content on drug use.
Right.
So basically, since they've changed the law, they can, if Putin's mad at XYZ company, he can just, boop, I'm mad at Apple, boop, blocked.
That's right.
I'm mad at Microsoft. Boop, blocked. Sorry.
Right.
And in this, we were talking about the Ethiopia, but Russia's not the only country. This article also talks about China. It said it's going to place restrictions on Earlier this month, China said it would place restrictions on unauthorized VPNs. And recently, all VPN apps were removed from China's version of Apple's App Store.
Unauthorized? So there are authorized ones.
I guess it's real. I guess the authorized VPNs are not true VPNs.
It must not.
That's what Bruce would probably say.
Yeah,
I'm channeling my inner Bruce.
You're channeling your inner Bruce.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to use a VPN in Russia, you're about to not be able to.
Well,
Sorry.
I know this is a related story, but you saw where that Marcus Hutchins supposedly has been detained after the DEF CON.
I missed that.
Yeah, he was. I guess he was at DEF CON.
Yeah, that just wrapped up like a week or so ago.
Yeah, and he's been detained apparently, and they're claiming, Motherboard is claiming, that he is being held in Henderson Detention Center in Nevada.
Uh-oh. What they got him on suspected or alleged?
They said that now they have apparently, and this article is assuming, I think, that it is in relation to his connection with WannaCry.
Oh.
Because he's the one that registered, he's the researcher that registered the domain that actually ended up stopping the malware from spreading. Remember, he found the weird domain to register.
Yeah.
Now here, let's see, I'm trying to figure out who this person they're quoting here.
But he actually did some good there.
Well, I agree.
I'm not saying that just...
I don't think this
clear
as Bruce. If Bruce was here, he would definitely say this is somewhat of a conspiracy here.
Absolutely, put your 10 full hats on now, folks.
Apparently, a friend is quoted here. It's a personal friend. Said, tried to visit him as soon as the detention center opened, but he had already been transferred out.
At least that's what they said.
I've spoken to the U.S. Marshals again, and they say no records of Marcus being in the system. Said he's been trying to...
That sounds very conspiracy-ish. I wish I had some conspiracy music I could play right now. That's it right there, buddy.
According to another spokesperson from the U.S. Marshals, my colleague in Las Vegas says this was an FBI arrest.
Okay.
And is not in U.S. Marshal custody. Yeah, he was at the Black Hat DEF CON conference. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to keep this one on our radar. Because that, we had talked extensively about what happened with the WannaCry situation. And if you don't remember, that was malware, and it was actually ransomware, I'm sorry. And it would take control of your hard drive and basically encrypt your hard drive. You couldn't get it back, and you had to pay to possibly get it back. Mm-hmm. So that's where that was related to, and that happened earlier this year. Just months ago, I think. And anyway, this gentleman, as I've said, he found, supposedly, a place in the code where you registered this weird cryptic web address, and once that was registered and it came online, supposedly the ransomware would find it. It was always searching for it, find it, and stop spreading.
That was kind of the kill switch.
That was the kill switch, supposedly. So anyway.
Okay, very interesting. We'll see what comes of this.
And then, of course, related to that, I don't know if people, I'm sure people have been paying attention to this. There has been another WikiLeaks release doc on Dumbo, the CIA tool, and apparently that allows webcam access. The tool allows for the identification, control, and manipulation of monitoring and detection systems, says a article. Let's see. This is Sputnik International is the Sputnik is the website. Yeah, I think that's speaking of Russian.
Yeah.
Let's see. All processes related to the detected devices, usually recording, monitoring, or detection of video audio network streams, are also identified and can be stopped by the operator. By deleting or manipulating recordings, the operator is aided in creating fake or destroying actual evidence of the intrusion operation, the press release specified. This is another one of those situations where I've seen it here recently, and I sort of don't know if I bring it up or not, but I'm not sure how to address it is what I'm getting at, because it's sort of weird. There is a camera right here on my device.
Well, most do.
I know, but I don't have a Post-it note on it or a piece of tape on it.
Why not?
Well, I just don't. I'm not really concerned about it. Maybe I know somebody said, well, you should be. Well, yeah, I know I should be. I don't really think I'm on the CIA, FBI's watch list, but whatever. Well, anyway...
Hey, FBI.
I have to, yeah, right. I have noticed. Hey, welcome to the Hey Techies show. I have noticed. If you want to question us, 256-782,
5600,
and you can do so. But anyway, I have noticed that I've seen a lot of people putting the tape or whatever over the camera, but on top of the unit, there's a cover that you can slide.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So the cover slid and a Post-it note. I mean, we're getting
it's belt and suspenders.
It's double security.
Because who knows? There could be something to slide that thing back.
Yeah, I don't think.
Never know.
Yeah,
never know.
You don't. I guess not. I don't know. I just find it fascinating, as usual. So
fascinating as usual.
Yeah, it's I find most things fascinating like this. I find. Let's see, what would you call it? Human interaction and with technology interesting.
Yeah.
It almost never ceases to amaze me.
This is a perfect segue, and if you're done, I got something that segues perfectly.
Oh yeah,
talking about humor. So this is from our friends down the road on the plains down at Auburn University.
Okay,
I came across this the other week.
Cool.
They have this website, keepitsafe.auburn.edu, and at the very top it says, "Treat your password like your toothbrush."
Huh.
You ever thought of that? It's got 3 things here. Number 1, choose a good password.
Yeah, sure.
So you want a good toothbrush, right? You don't want the little El Cheapo, 10-cent special.
I don't know how much my dentist pays for them. Go ahead.
Well, I don't use them that much. My dentist is listening. I apologize. But I do change my toothbrush every 6 months. Anyway. Number 1, choose a good password. Number 2, never share it with anyone. Obviously, you don't want to share your toothbrush. That's gross.
Obviously.
Number 3, change it every 3 to 6 months. Just like you're supposed to change your toothbrush every 3 to 6, which I change mine every 6. So if I'm doing it wrong, I apologize to my dentist. And they go on this. There's more. That's like the top of it. And then they talk about how to choose a good password and strategies. Passwords are key to your data, and it should be nearly impossible for someone to figure out. We've said this stuff on the show before.
Absolutely.
Choosing a secure password is paramount for keeping your data secure. Strategies for creating a good password. We got a couple of things here. Create a password that's easy to remember. Create one that you don't have to write down. So it's got to be easy to remember. Don't have to write it down to remember it. Make your password at least 8 characters long. Create a password that you can type quickly.
Yeah.
So you're not somebody could watch you type it.
Right.
Create a password that is a random mix of letters, digits, and punctuation. Then they got some pro tips. You ready for the pro tips?
Oh yeah, I'm way down bated breath.
Select a phrase that is easy to remember and turn it into a password by using the first letter of the words using uppercase and lowercase letters. Add some special characters and use some numbers in place of letters. Yeah. These are called passphrases. Be creative. Here's some examples. Of course, this is Auburn University. It's great to be an Auburn Tiger. IGR, the number 8, number 2, BA, lowercase, and AU's in uppercase, T, exclamation. It'd be like, it's a great time to be a gamecock.
Well, now you can't use that one.
Well, no, you can't use that one. But you can use it's a great time to be a gamecock.
Then
can't use that one either. I just gave it away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's another one.
I don't think these are good passwords.
I was born at East Alabama Medical Center. My day 0 @EAMC. I mean, it kind of gives you some ideas here. Coca-Cola is not equal to Pepsi. Pepsi for the win. Well, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that, but anyway. And it's got, this is funny. C exclamation equals, so not equal, which that's kind of programmer talk.
Right.
P comma, then capital P, 3 PSI, so Pepsi with the 3 in it.
Right.
Number 4 TW for the win.
Huh. Okay, I get it.
There's some other things here. I mean, I won't bore you with that.
No, it's very interesting. But, I mean, passwords are very important.
Things to avoid when choosing a password. Names of any kind. These include your username, your first or last name of any form, or your spouse's or child's name. Any kind of easily obtained information. This includes your address, birthdays, license plate numbers, telephone numbers, etc. Sensitive information. This includes your ATM PIN. They got your banner ID. Because I guess they're a banner school, I guess. But social security number or credit card number. Words contained in English or foreign language dictionaries. These include obvious words such as secret, password, ABC 123, etc. Remember, it is part of your responsibility to create a strong password for maximum security. Always take precautions. They got. It keeps on going about never share it with anyone.
Sure.
All that good stuff. Phishing, changing every 3 to 6 months. Has your account been compromised? Your account may be compromised. No fault of your own. Blah, blah, blah. Talk about managing your passwords. And they link to a PC Mag article with the best free password manager 2016. So, anyway. Very, very interesting. They got some, I'll put the link to this in the show notes, but if you want to watch it, if you want to go to it right now, it's keepitsafe.auburn.edu. So, it was very, very informative. If this, even the layperson, even the techie, learned something. I do have a little secret, though.
What's that?
I use LastPass. I know Bruce doesn't.
Well,
like LastPass,
I was going to mention that. I was going to add that to this discussion.
Yeah,
real quick. What I was going to add to this discussion is, if you're concerned about a password, go search Google for the term password generator, and there are a good many sites, legitimate sites, that you can create a password, and they even tell you how strong that password may be, and they have different credentials, criteria. But, pardon me, what I wanted to say is LastPass.com, they have a generator.
Yeah.
/generate password. Okay.
The one, when you first said a generator online, the first one I thought was GRC, Gibson Research Corporation. Steve Gibson.
Yes.
He's a security researcher, security expert.
Correct.
GRC.com/passwords.
That's correct. That's a good one,
and
too.
I know, because he's talked about it on the podcast he hosts on the Security Now podcast. These passwords, when you get one, it's never repeated.
Right.
No one else will ever have this password.
Right.
So that's another good one. But
now, the thing he has is these passwords are really long.
Oh, this is like a 64-bit.
I mean, you'd never.
0 through 9, A through F, so it's hexadecimal. There's also one with this ASCII characters you can get. I mean, but here's my thing. And I know Bruce doesn't agree with me, so if he listens to the show, he'll probably yell at me later. That's okay. KeyPass is one that he likes, and there's nothing wrong with KeyPass. I've never personally used KeyPass. I've been using LastPass for a while.
Well, there you go. Everybody knows now.
But it's secure.
I'm just kidding.
You've got like a master password you've got to create.
Yeah.
And that's those tips like Auburn gives us are good things to when you're developing your master password, because that password is the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. That gets you in.
Exactly right.
What's good about LastPass is this is even the free version. I think the free you pay like $14 a year and you get all their features where you can do it on multiple devices and da-da-da-da-da. But I think for the free, you get it on 2 devices. So like a mobile phone could be one, like your app on the phone.
Exactly.
They have an app. And then, you could have it on your PC too. But they have a plug-in for Chrome. They probably have it for Firefox as well, to where if you're actually going to a site and logging in, like an existing site, you already know the password, it'll pop up and say, do you want us to remember this password for you?
Sure.
So that's good. That just kind of helps, but still, that's not talking about not perfect passwords, but strong passwords. But if you're going to a new site to create an account, when you go to create that account, it'll recognize that you're needing to put a password in and prompt it, and you can click in that little text box and click a little icon it adds.
Right.
By in the plugin, it'll say it'll give you the option generate password. And it'll generate it. You can specify how many characters you want it to be, if you want it to have symbols, whatever you need it to have to meet the requirements of that site. And it'll generate one on the fly. And it'll give you the option, do you want us to remember this for you? That way, subsequent logins, you can pull that in very easily without having to go, well, what's my password? Let me pull it out. And then they have a mobile app, too, that helps you pull those passwords up if you're on your mobile device, too. So. Yeah, so far I've been impressed with LastPass. A couple times it acts kind of quirky, the plug-in.
Right.
But, but it does the job. It's just the key there, again, is to have a very strong, like, master password.
Right.
That is very difficult to guess. Almost impossible to guess, but as long as you can remember it.
Right, exactly.
Because otherwise you're defeating the purpose by using it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
So, Bruce, I know you're disappointed in me. For using LastPass, but that's what I use.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, we will have some more stories and opinions and maybe your calls right here on the Hey Techies Show. Be right back.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show, where if you want to learn about interesting things that you don't know about technology and maybe some stories that you don't keep up with, that's what we're here for. And, of course, you can call in 256-782-5600 and be on the Hey Techies Show, or questions at heytechieshow.com. Also, you can watch us online and join us in the chat if you're interested in that. And we would love to have you on the show. I say we've got something.
Sorry.
Something going on.
I should have turned my volume down.
You know you're not bothering me.
I'm bothering our listeners, so.
Oh, well, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I have a friend, but I had a good friend who stumbled across, quite possibly, Guru, which, man, I'm hating Bruce is not here, because I really felt like he would not recover from this story.
Do we need to save it for next week?
No.
Okay.
No, I no. Nah, although it is a year old, so it really wouldn't matter. But here's what I want to say. I want to preface this.
Only the freshest news on the Hey Techies Show, folks.
But you may never have heard this. I mean, I'd never heard
It's like a fine wine.
But Guru, this just never gets old.
Okay.
I mean, I could hear this story recited to me once a week. It's that interesting and fun.
I'm all ears.
But so my friend stumbled across this. It's actually was on Facebook, and so I'm going to say that I'm going to say this. I don't care whether the story's true or not. Even if
it's got to be true if it's on Facebook.
It was an individual who wrote it, but even if they made it up, it's the funniest text story related that I've ever heard in my life. I laughed so hard. Well, anyway, and you may not find it funny, but here he goes. Got to watch my time. So this comes from Jess and Kelly Newton in Little Rock, Arkansas. And Jesse, apologize. Jesse and Kelly. So Jesse writes this. So last week, and of course I'm telling you this has been back over a year ago, something pretty tragic happened in our household. It has taken me until now to wrap my head around it and find the words to describe the horror. It started off simple enough, something that's probably happened to most of you. Sometime between midnight and 1:30 a.m., our puppy, Evie, pooped on our rug in the living room. This is the only time she's done this, so it's probably just because we forgot to let her out. You know, well, you've been there before. I mean, some people have animals. You forgot before they went to bed, right? So now if you have a detective's mind, as I know Guru is good, you may be wondering, how do they know that the pooping occurred between midnight and 1:30 a.m.? You know, they were asleep. How in the world would they know that? He said, why, friends? That's because our Roomba runs at 1:30 a.m. every night. I'm waiting for ambiance and just to get you thinking about where this might be going.
So the Roomba had an obstacle.
So while we are asleep, and it found the poop, and so begins the poop-tastrophe, the poop-apocalypse, the poopening.
Poopgate.
Yeah, Poopgate. If you have a Roomba, please rid yourself of all distractions and absorb everything the writer writes I'm about to tell you. Do not, under any circumstance, let your Roomba run over doggy poop. If the unthinkable does happen and your Roomba runs over dog poop, or any poop, I guess, stop it immediately and do not let it continue the cleaning cycle, because if that happens, it will spread the dog poop over every conceivable surface within its reach. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh, that's just like
resulting in a home that closely resembles a Jackson Pollock poop painting, which I don't know. I guess I should look that up. He goes on. It will be on your floorboards. It will be on your furniture leg. It will be on your carpets. It will be on your rugs. It will be on your kids' toy boxes. If it's near the floor, it will have poop on it. Can you imagine?
Oh,
those awesome wheels, which have checkered surfaces for better traction, left 25-foot poop trails all over the house. It's funny to us, but my goodness.
He talk about real skid marks.
Oh, yeah. I know. Our lovable Roomba, who gets careful cleaning every night, looked like it had been mudding. Yes, mudding, like what you do with a Jeep on a pipeline road, but in poop. Then when your 4-year-old gets up at 3 a.m. to crawl into your bed, you'll wonder why he smells like dog poop. And after you walk into the living room, and you'll wonder why the floor feels slightly gritty. And
Oh my goodness!
You'll see a brown. I told you, man. He said you'll see a brown encrusted, vaguely Roomba-shaped thing sitting in the middle of the floor with a glowing green light, like everything's okay, like it's proud of itself.
Hey, I did my job.
Yeah, you were half asleep until at this point, but now you're pretty woken up. He goes on. So first you clean the child. You scrub the poop off its feet. You put him back in bed. But you don't bother cleaning your own feet because you know what's coming. It's inevitable. And it's coming at you like a freight train. Some folks would shrug their shoulders and get back in bed to deal with it in the morning, but you're not one of those people. You can't go to sleep with that war zone of poop.
You just know what's facing you.
So you clean the Roomba. You toss it in the bathtub to let it soak. You pull it apart piece by piece, wondering at what point you became an adult and assumed a responsibility for 3:30 a.m. Roomba disassembly poop cleanup. By this point, the poop isn't just on your hands. It's smeared up to your elbows. You already heard the Roomba make that whirl, boop, hiss noise that sounds like electronics dying, and you realize you forgot to pull the battery before getting it wet. Oh, and you're not just using profanity. You're inventing new types of profanity. You're saying such things that would make Satan shudder in convulsions. You hope your kid stayed in bed because if he hears you talking like this, there's no way he's not ending up in prison. Then you get out the carpet shampoo. When you push it up to the rug that started it all, the shampooer just laughs at you because that rug is going in the trash, folks. But you shampoo it anyway because your wife's going to ask you, did you try to clean it? Then you get out the paper towel rolls, idly wondering if you should invest in paper towel stock as you blow through 3 or 4 rolls wiping up poop. He goes on, and I'll post the link, but it is very funny. But the end of the thing.
Oh, goodness.
The end is that the company that sold the Roomba, believe it or not, replaced the Roomba.
Really?
After he told them the complete truthful story, they replaced the Roomba at no charge to him.
Oh, that's
good. It had done that. Yeah, I think if I got Hammacher shoot.
It's one of the things like, yeah, let's take care of this guy. Poor customer. Let's just take care of him.
Wow. I mean,
he deserves a free Roomba to replace his other one that's non-functional, but also like nasty.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! This really happened?
Yeah. Well, it is a person that does have a Facebook page.
Well,
and this,
like I said, it's on Facebook. It has to be.
Well,
true.
no, but it's not.
But that's too good to be made up.
It really is. However, let me say it this way: if it is made up, they're an excellent writer. It is the funniest tech Roomba story or clean that I've ever heard. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that. Can you imagine? Of course, I don't have one of these items that clean the house because it would scare my dog to death, and that just wouldn't work at my house. She hates the vacuum cleaner as it is. I can imagine a robotics.
I have cats at house. They would be terrified of the Roomba.
But I laugh when my friend was telling me this. He told the story, and when he got to the part about the Roomba They have a Roomba. I started laughing. I could already see. I could tell what was fixing to happen.
That was me. Like, oh no, I know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
I cannot. Like I said, though,
I
it's
don't have a
too
clue.
good to be made up.
What would you do? I mean, I know you'd have to get up and clean it up, but my goodness, what would you do? What would you do? Call in to the Hey Techie Show if you heard the story.
You have a similar story.
Yeah, maybe you have a similar story, a clean one, obviously, and because that one wasn't very clean, but a white horse in a dirty mud puddle. But I mean, I'm serious. It's just that was unbelievable. I just can't fathom it. Oh gracious! So that was my funny story, and I kind of hate Bruce wasn't here. Well, I don't hate Bruce. I hate the fact that Bruce was not here to actually hear it.
Yeah, if we said we're missing Bruce tonight.
Yeah, but it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't. I just couldn't help it. I had to share it with the Hey Techie Show's family here, because it was just too good not to share. So anyway, hey, did you know this, Guru? Just a little bit tidbit here. Did you know that a popular extension in Chrome apparently has had code? Hackers had hacked it. They've injected code into a popular extension.
Oh, really? Which one? Which extension?
It's called Web Developer. It's a popular extension that adds various web developer tools to a variety of browsers.
Okay. I've never used it.
Well, I haven't either, but what's really bad...
And I'm a web developer. Part of my...
This is what's really bad. The developer of the product, Chris Pedrick, admitted that the reason that they were able to get the code inside one of the uploads for the extension, he stupidly fell for a phishing attack on his Google account.
Oh, no. Man. So somebody got his Google account and basically...
I just don't know what to say.
Pushed out a version of that, maybe, I guess.
Yes, that's correct. The version...
Because, like, I'm assuming...
He got out ahead of it pretty quickly.
Google account.
0.4.9 was uploaded, and that was the version that had been compromised.
And the thing is, those plugins, they usually just auto-update in Chrome. Like, you can't, it don't tell you, oh, there's a new version. Would you like to install it? It just does it.
There is maybe some light at the end of the tunnel. Apparently, this particular upload was basically just an ad push. However, what this particular extension has some extensive rights in your browser. It could have pushed some malicious code if they had wanted to. But according to this article, which I believe is on... come on now. Where's this list? Tripwire.com. They must not have done... They must have just been interested in getting some code to send out ads.
Yeah, but treat your password like a toothbrush.
Yeah. Hey Techie Show, Our Dose, coming up next.
You've listened this long, so stick around for Our Dose.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. Signs of the Russia investigation led by Special Counsel Robert Mueller may be heating up. Sources confirming to NPR that Mueller is using a grand jury in the probe into whether Russia meddled in the 2016 election. The use of a grand jury suggests that Mueller and his team could issue subpoenas and request documents, standard tools in government investigations. Meanwhile, outside lawyers for President Trump were quick to say they are unaware of any federal grand jury and have no reason to believe the president is the target of any investigation. The president, meanwhile, delivered a new message on the Russia investigation during a campaign-style rally today as headlines about the investigation dominated the news. As NPR's Tamara Keith reports, the president elaborated on why he says it's a hoax.
Trump told a crowd of cheering supporters in Huntington, West Virginia, that the Russia story is a total fabrication. Special counsel Robert Mueller is leading an investigation into Russian interference in the election and possible connections with the Trump campaign, but Trump downplayed it.
Most people know there were no Russians in our campaign. There never were. We didn't win because of Russia. We won because of you.
He suggested prosecutors should really be looking into Hillary Clinton's emails, which, just like during the campaign, prompted chants of lock her up. Trump added, though, that he hopes the final determination of the ongoing investigation is a truly honest one. Tamara Keith, NPR News, Huntington, West Virginia.
Mexican opposition politicians say their president did not do enough to stand up to Donald Trump in a phone call between the two world leaders back in January. As NPR's Carrie Kahn reports, a full transcript of the terse conversation was just released by the Washington Post.
A spokesman for Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto declined to comment on the released transcripts, which revealed more details about the conversation the two leaders held in the days following Donald Trump's inauguration. According to the transcripts, Trump repeatedly tells Peña Nieto to stop saying publicly that Mexico will not pay for a U.S. border wall. Trump reportedly tells Peña Nieto, "You can't say that." He also states that if Mexico is afraid to fight drug traffickers, then the U.S. military can. At the time of the call back in January, Mexico denied that Trump had offered to send U.S. soldiers. Opposition lawmakers blasted Peña Nieto for what they said was a submissive and complacent response by the Mexican president to Trump. Others, however, praised Peña Nieto's restraint. Carrie Kahn, NPR News, Mexico City.
The nation's service sector, which includes a broad swath of public sector workers, continued to expand last month, but at a slightly slower pace. The Institute for Supply Management says its monthly service sector index declined about 3.5 points. However, the index remains above 50, level indicating continued expansion in the sector. On Wall Street, the Dow closed up 9 points. You're listening to NPR.
Technologic.
Trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it.
Welcome back into our dose.
I got niggas say my line.
What were you gonna say?
Dose.
Oh, sorry. Welcome back into our
dose
of the Hey Techies show.
You can edit that out, that first part.
Sure, I could.
And edit this out too.
Sure, I could. Well, we hope you all are having a great evening tonight, and we are Bruceless tonight, but that's okay. Guru and I are hanging in here, and we're having a good time. We had a great story earlier.
I don't know how long I hang on to this counter. I'm just kidding.
If you missed our Uno and you are picking up with our dose, you can check out all of it at HeyTechiesShow.com, especially after we put it up on the podcast. And if YouTube does not ding us for copyright infringement, or they don't want to monetize the song.
Well, I think what happened last week is we had a tendency to let the bumper play longer than normal. But here was what was funny is there was one bumper. It was the Gypsy song, the one called Gypsy. I forget which artist it was that we played.
We got to stay away from that one then.
Well, that's the one that dinged us.
Yeah.
And YouTube has a feature, it said it was in beta, where they could cut out that audio.
Right.
So I tried to do that. Well, it never did.
That's
work. It didn't do it.
Sometimes it works, sometimes.
Yeah, it's beta, so it didn't ever work. So what I did is I went back and pulled our I pulled the recording off the podcast, what Michael created for the podcast, and I put it as a video and put, a little intro, and I mean basically the whole show was just like the logo with the video.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got ready to upload that, and then I got another email from YouTube saying that it's been blocked in certain countries, and it plays in the U.S. currently.
Yeah.
At least the last time I checked.
Yeah.
Let's see what it does right now. But anyway, that's what happened. I think we let those bumpers go long. We were in the midst of deep conversation over here.
Yeah, I think we were one time. That's true.
Let's see. I want to play this, but I want to do it. If I do it as my login, it will play anyway. Yeah, it's playing right now. So if you, 102 is playing, which was a good show, by the way.
It was a good show.
We had a special guest.
That's right.
We had Josh.
That's right.
Join us. You'll definitely hear more from him in future Hey Techies. We'll get him back on because he was excellent. Thank you again, Josh, for joining us last week.
Right. I've been wanting to bring this up, and actually I'd forgotten about it and remembered it again and forgotten about it, and it sparked this week because somebody was doing another radio show where they were talking about sports greats. And what they were referring to, they were talking about sports greats is who would you put up on the sports Mount Rushmore? Coach or of coaches or what have you. And it got me to thinking, I don't know that we've talked a little bit about who's the best at this or blah, 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 blah,
right.
or who's the most wealthy or who's done, But and we may extend this into next week.
I want to hear. I know you're going with this, but Bruce, go ahead.
But I got to thinking myself, and I was thinking, well, I don't know who I would put up there in the tech world. I mean, obviously, you would have to have Steve Jobs.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. My first choice is Steve Jobs.
You might even have to have Wozniak.
Yeah, Steve and Woz. Yeah, I say Woz too. Yeah, because they were both instrumental in the personal computer revolution.
But how far back do you go? I mean, one could
like Charles Babbage.
Yeah, one could say,
for those who don't know, I mean, he was very early days of computers.
One could say you would want to seriously consider adding people like Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, because tech and you start going back in just to science in general,
right? I know science in general.
Sir Isaac Newton.
Sir Isaac Newton. I mean, definitely.
If you want to go. Far back.
And some people would laugh at this, and I know the empty chair over here would. Bruce, Alexander Graham Bell. I mean, you can't argue that.
No, you cannot.
That he did not have some scientific influence on technology of today. And then you've got Benjamin Franklin, an inventor.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go on this. I mean, I was just thinking of things.
The tech Mount Rushmore would be like huge.
It would have to be. I mean, the impact.
Well, I'll tell you what they do when they build that wall.
Bill Gates,
when they build the wall across Mexico, they just
that's it.
They just put them across
there. That's right. They could probably line the entire of inventors and scientists, and that is a good
Somebody
idea.
From the Trump administration. Hopefully, you're listening to this show.
Yeah, you could just
send that on up the line.
A tech wall. I wonder how many of them would be offended to be on there.
Probably some would be, especially if the Trump administration was.
I can think of one in particular now over Apple for sure. he would not be too excited about being on the wall.
And he's from the state of Alabama. He was raised in Robertsdale.
Yeah.
We're talking about Tim
Auburn
Cook.
grad.
Yeah, Auburn grad Tim Cook. That's Robertsdale, Alabama, from L.A. Lower
and
Alabama.
You can call in here. Then you know the number 256-782-5600, and you can tell us.
How about this? Just shoot us an email sometime during the week. Questions at HeyTechiesShow.com.
That's right.
We'll bring this up definitely next week when Bruce is back.
Yeah, because he's gonna. Yeah, some would say, would Elon Musk make it?
To be determined.
To be determined.
To be determined is what I'd say.
Yeah,
he has potential, yes, but to be determined.
Well, certainly in the aerospace industry. But here's the problem. Is he just a visionary, or is he really doing it? Because he's got a lot of scientists working for him. And I say scientists, aerospace engineers.
That's true. That's true.
What was the guy, von Braun?
Oh, William von.
Yeah.
William von Braun?
Wasn't it William von Braun? I mean, he was a huge – wasn't it the guy that first rocket or dealt with the first –
Werner von Braun.
Werner.
Well, it's probably pronounced Werner. Werner.
Yeah, that's right, von Braun.
He was from Germany.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because he was very instrumental in
propulsion, rocket.
Yeah, because he started out working for the Nazis in Germany.
Correct.
Was brought over here after all that went down, and very instrumental in the Saturn V program, the Saturn V rocket, which was developed right up the road from us in Huntsville,
right,
at Redstone Arsenal.
So I mean, you could. I mean, this
tech is so far-reaching.
And I know I'm doing inventors and science, and I guess you could narrow it down some, obviously, if you wanted to. But here again, there's so many inventions that has changed the face. Once this is invented, then somebody says, "Oh, I can come along and do this on top of what somebody else has done." Mm-hmm. Oh, and maybe adjust this and make this better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could say, I mean, we could add this to it. And if you wanted to discuss business and retail, you could say Sam Walton revolutionized the retail business model. No question about it.
Yeah, in terms of business and entrepreneurism and all that.
And
yes.
the time that he came along.
Not necessarily tech, but
no, I said it wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm making a point that you could take pretty much any industry.
Yeah, if you talk to anybody that like taught an anybody that's like maybe a professor over in the school of business,
right?
They would definitely, if you said, "Give me your business Mount Rushmore,"
right? Yeah,
Sam Walton would be probably one of those people they would mention.
You would think it would probably, somewhere in there, at least for retail.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I can remember many classes that I took, different business classes. Sam Walton or Walmart got brought up in a lot of examples.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Anyway, it's just something that was on my mind, and
that's good. We're definitely going to we'll doorstop this to next week, and
if our talent is able to attend one of these radio programs on Thursday evening, we'll get his opinion on this. I mean,
we can always give him a call and tell him.
Yeah, you just never know. We might have to.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of bed. Come on in here to the Hey Techies show, right? But anyway, so I found that fascinating, and we've really just scratched the surface. I'm sure there's lots of people we haven't even. I mean, there's tons of people we haven't even.
That wall just put them all across the wall.
Yeah.
It's what how many hundreds of miles is it across the Mexico-U.S. border?
Yeah, it's a good ways.
We should have put that suggestion in when they were taking the RFPs for that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think that's already passed. So
no, they were too. Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Well, I know Guru's got some stuff, but I got an interesting story
that
has broke this past week.
That's breaking news.
Well, you sent it to me, but
did I?
Yeah. But it is a fascinating story because we talked just a minute about YouTube.
Well, I have another YouTube story, but go ahead.
Well, this has to do with a UCF kicker.
That's the one I have. Yeah. I actually pulled it up a few minutes ago. But
okay,
go ahead.
You go ahead. And why don't you break into it because it's very. And I'm going to give my opinion. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So what this is from Ars Technica, and a University of Central Florida kicker has been ruled ineligible, and he loses his scholarship after monetizing YouTube videos. And this, the little subtitle says athletes can make YouTube videos, but they can't make money off sports videos. So, excuse me. So, University of Central Florida place kicker Donald De La Haye, I probably butchered that.
No, that's right.
I think I said it too slow. Anyway, he had to choose between making YouTube videos and playing college football, and he chose YouTube.
Yeah.
So the UCF announced on Monday that De La Haye had been ruled ineligible to play for the school's team. The decision came after he refused to agree to an NCAA waiver that dictated the types of videos he could create and post to his monetized YouTube channel under the name Destroying, D-E-E-Destroying, all one word. So this is from they're quoting the Orlando Sentinel. It detailed UCF's statement regarding the waiver. And this is quoting that story from the Orlando Sentinel. The waiver, which was granted, states that De La Haye could maintain his eligibility and continue to monetize his videos that did not reference his status as a student athlete or depict his football skill or ability. The waiver also allowed him to create videos that referenced his status as a student athlete or depict his football skill or ability if they were posted to a non-monetized account.
Right.
De La Haye chose not to accept the conditions of the waiver and therefore has been ruled ineligible to compete in NCAA sanctioned competition.
And he was a kicker.
Yeah,
he is a kicker.
He was, well...
He is. I mean, he's
no longer for UCF.
Right.
But UCF...
Well, he couldn't be for any college.
In the last sentence, it says UCF Athletics wishes him the best in his future endeavors. And there's a statement, too, from the NCAA here that they released, and it's...
And he made a response video, by the way, that was posted, I think, on the 2nd or maybe before.
Yeah, and this article's got it embedded. It's from Ars Technica, so you can go and watch this later. But, yeah. So, very interesting that, and I understand the whole, and I talked to somebody that I know knows a good bit about all the ins and the outs and about because NCAA's had to put rules in place to try to level the playing field, make it fair, and not give people an advantage at some schools in some areas because of money. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. So, student athletes have to be very careful about making money and, having financial interest and stuff and all that because, that's the way the rules are. And if you want to play sports under NCAA, you follow our rules or you go home, basically. So,
well, I think that for the most part, they have been, from what I can tell, unwavering on this particular issue. And so they've been somebody I mean, I'm no expert in the sports arena, but from what I have followed, and I'm sure some of you have too, they have been very consistent with saying they do not support athletes making a profit on their athletic ability while they're still a student and playing. Now, after go to pro sport,
that's the whole different.
Something different. But they have maintained this belief that you're there to go to school and you're playing. Now, you can make hundreds of arguments all different ways that would support all sides.
I think everybody has an opinion about athletics and academics.
But that's
and
really
college,
not what we're talking about.
No, that's beside the point.
The point is they had to make a ruling, and from what all I can tell, and as I said, just a watcher of this, it looks like they ruled, and the only thing they could come back and rule with that you can't make a money, period, or make a profit, period, while you're student athlete on student athlete things.
Yes.
You just can't do it.
Yeah, because they gave him an out. If you want to continue making these videos
Correct.
about your football playing abilities or talking about your status as a student athlete, you can do it. You just can't monetize it.
Now, my question, and when we come back, we're going to finish, but we got to cut to break. I just noticed the clock. We got to go. But when we come back, I'm going to finish my thought if I don't forget it, which is real possible, but you never know. So, Hey Techies Show, be right back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show, where you can get all the tech news that we think is worth discussing and get our opinions on them. No, I'm just kidding. And you can be a part of the show, as we have made available on a phone as well, and on the website, heytechieshow.com. And that phone number is, if you would like to be on the show, 256-782-5600. And we would love to have you on the show. So as we were just coming back from break, we had been talking about this curious
UCF.
Oh, it is UCF. Sorry.
University of Central Florida.
It is Central Florida. Yeah. Sorry about
Outside,
that.
It's in the Orlando area.
I had it backwards. A story about Donald DeLahaye, and Guru has actually some quotes here.
Yeah, this is a little more from the NCAA. It's not quotes from it, but basically ours is kind of summarizing NCAA's statement. There's basically, the NCAA didn't have an issue with him making these videos, nor with the student profiting from them. It just didn't want DeLahaye to profit from his status as a student athlete in any way.
Right.
Which is the organization's longstanding and controversial viewpoint. The NCAA profits off athletes like DeLahaye as the universities that recruit these athletes, though the athletes themselves are not paid. In 2014, NCAA argued in court that athletes' rights had, quote, no value, but the organization also deserves to license all the rights on their own, end quote. So we said there's a video here that he posted on his YouTube channel, like a response to this, and There's some quotes in this article that I'll go over here just real quick. Is he expressed his frustration with the situation, saying, quote, "I'm definitely torn apart inside. I didn't feel like and he's talking about the rules that stated in the waiver, were fair. I just didn't think that this was fair. This was fair what they wanted me to do, so I told him I wouldn't do it." And due to his ineligibility, he lost a scholarship because he's not eligible to play. So, well, and here's the thing too. I was skipping down here. The article talks about how much is he making, because obviously he chose to make YouTube videos and be a professional YouTuber.
Right.
There's really no way to accurately estimate what he's making, because that stuff's kind of confidential unless he was to share it. But Social Blade, there's a site called Social Blade. It's a website that tracks the performance of social media accounts, including YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Estimates this site, Social Blade, estimates that De La Haye could make anywhere between $252 and $4,000 per month with his YouTube account as it currently stands.
That's some more estimate.
Yeah,
that is. I mean, I could have come up with that.
Somewhere between a little and a lot. Because $252 a month, I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it could supplement your income. But $4,000 a month, I mean, that's a pretty good job.
Yeah, I should say so.
For making videos.
Plus, you'd have taxes on that.
Oh yeah,
you need to have taxes.
But I mean,
taken on that.
Well, that's between you and the IRS.
Here's the thing, though, that kind of, and I haven't gotten a recent. I don't think there's a recent. I haven't seen a recent update of the story, but here's the thing, though. Is his YouTube channel going to be all that interesting now that he's not a player? I mean, it seems like to me that this is a double-edged sword for him in a way.
Well, here's the thing. It's not necessarily part of it's about subscribers, and that's why I was curious.
Yes, I know, right.
So he currently has, as of the time this show is airing, 137,286 subscribers.
I imagine after this article,
he probably got a lot of more attention. So I don't know what it was before. I don't have that data, but his video that he posted 3 days ago about losing his Division I scholarship because of my YouTube channel has received so far 611,000 views.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then
you got to figure that.
But then one day ago, he posted another video said the day after I lost my scholarship. That's the title of it. It's only had 182,000 views. So obviously the story, probably like being embedded in this Ars Technica article, helped boost views of that video particularly. Exactly. But
maybe some are saying, And
there's another one. They're kicking me out of my dorm. Well, I mean, if you're not a student,
if you're not a student, they have to do that. I mean, you can't.
I'm gonna have to watch these later. I mean, that's just kind of adding to it. But I guess I watch these. I can support his being because I'll get the pre-roll ads. But
go by. The people can get it up to maybe 1 million views, right?
Yeah, and I hate that for any student athlete to lose their scholarship. But he was given a choice. The NCAA said, "Well, you can continue making videos and making money off them as long as they don't pertain to your student athlete status or your football skills."
Exactly.
Anything else, if you want to go make, other, different topics, but you can make money off of them. But maybe that was.
I think that's the point. He was,
and just scrolling through here, a lot of them are dealing with football.
But here's the thing. No offense to this young man. I'm not anybody in sports, so let's
not
hold
either.
on. Let me finish. Let's quantify that. I've never heard of the guy.
I hadn't either.
I mean, I'm kind of a person that kind of keeps up with some of it. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm in the know. I'm certainly not.
Well, and the thing is, he's not playing for like one of the top.
No,
teams.
He's not.
He's not.
But that is a known. That is a known program.
University of Alabama. Of course, that's known here. But like you got your Penn States and your Michigan, your Ohio State. Wait
a minute.
UCF. Only reason I know about UCF, and I'm claiming ignorance here, is a friend of mine has one of their children that goes to UCF. That's the only reason I know UCF exists. So
let's see here. UCF. Something's ringing a bell now on something else I know. Pardon us.
But anyway, it's going to be interesting. But while I was getting back to NCAA, they said you have a choice. You can you can still have these videos, just you can't make money off of them. You know, he had a choice, and he chose not to pursue his student athlete abilities, and I hate that for anybody, because like people that have these athletic abilities, they can come to school and get a post-secondary education at a lot lower cost, if not no cost, which will help them in the future down the road. Because I've said this to people, it's a small percentage of high school athletes that make it and get a scholarship at the college level, and then out of that group, it's even a smaller fraction that can make a career out of playing sports. So you've got to have some other backup plan, whether it's go learn a trade or whatever, to be able to support yourself and your family. And by him losing this scholarship, he may be jeopardizing that ability. And that's what I hate it for him.
I remember why that rings a bell. George Joseph O'Leary was the coach of the UCF.
I have no idea who he is.
Well, he's from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
No, see, I'm showing my sports ignorance.
He also served as the head football coach of Georgia Tech for a while, from 94 to 01.
Okay, I did not know that either.
He's been an administrator. He's a former American football coach, an athletic administrator. So anyway, that, like I said, it's not a big football team. I mean, as far as a conference, I shouldn't say conference. I didn't mean it that way. Powerhouse, if you will. That's what I was trying to get at. But the current coach is Scott Frost. I really don't know this person. I don't think I know this person. I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard of him, but I have heard of Coach George O'Leary. I've heard his name.
They're one step down from the top. They're NCAA Division I FBS.
Right, FBS, right.
So they're that same division that Jack State's in.
That's correct. Yeah. So anyway, on a side note, Jack State.
No, excuse FB. We're FCS. They're
FBS. No,
so we were wrong. They're at the highest.
They are at the highest.
There's not a powerhouse.
Correct. FBS. Yeah, that's correct.
See, again, I'm showing my sports ignorance.
Now we just stepped
third time.
Well, it's not a sports show. We just stepped it on that.
We leave that for the shows like Three Guys Talking Sports and other
that
ones.
No longer are here.
I know.
But at any rate, so that's that story, and I did think it was pretty fascinating.
I wish Daniel was around, Daniel Mathangani. I'd love to hear his take on all this.
Yeah, he could call in.
Yeah, we know he's listening. 256-782-5600.
Sure, you know he's listening. You know he is. Yeah. Hey, by the way, a little story that I'll do real quickly here. I didn't know if you saw this, but there's been this rumor, and it's been swirling for over a year about old Zuck, our good buddy Mark Zuckerberg, may run for president. I don't know if you've heard that. I mean, surely you've heard that.
Everybody wants to run for president.
Well, speculation. Well, I don't know about that, but speculations now are really going because Joel Benson, the pollster, former Clinton pollster, they're saying that he is advising the Facebook founder, Mark Zuckerberg. And they claim in this article, which is from Politico.com, that he is been considering, which I don't know if I believe that, an actual run.
Okay.
So anyway, just FYI, former Clinton pollster Joel Benson, hired by Zuck, according to stories that were released yesterday. As a matter of fact.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just adds to the rumor.
And speaking of rumors,
yeah,
good little segue.
Yes, it is.
We got a good little rumor stack this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I was earlier.
I'm gonna have to bounce off of you reading it.
Yeah. So, first one here. This is not an Apple rumor to start with. The LG V30 user manual leak shows off a pair of rear cameras. A pair. This is from AndroidandMe.com. Rumor has it that the LG is planning on removing the secondary display from the high-end V series lineup of smartphone, and yet another leak seems to corroborate those reports.
Okay.
So OwnLeaks, I didn't know if that was a thing, that they posted an image of what is apparently taken from the user manual of the upcoming LG V30. While there aren't a lot of details to go along with the image, it's pretty clear that the oft-rumored handset look clear up. I can't even read tonight. We can see a thin device which will feature a tall display flanked by minimal bezels, designed, blah 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 blah. But let's see. I'm trying to get to see. I didn't read this ahead of time. The image also shows that there will be a fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone, like typical Androids. Put it back there. I know it's kind of stupid, but it is what it is. Anyway.
Now, not to bump you off this, but I have another article that I think I looked up today or found today. LG confirms V30 will come with curved OLED display.
Curved OLED. Okay.
For VR. Says ideal for VR. And it says it's got a f1.6 aperture. May come with to have a camera with f1.6 aperture.
I don't know if that's good or not.
That's supposed to be very good.
It? Okay. I think the lower I don't know. I'm not going to even. I'm gonna get yelled at by some photographers.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, call in. Correct us. Be glad to take your call.
So that's that. So here's another one. This is an Apple one, but it's not an iPhone one. Surprisingly not. So there's Apple is listing select movies as 4K and HDR in iTunes purchase history.
Okay.
This came up with a MacRumors reader. This is a MacRumors article, but a MacRumors reader, Thomas Jackson, who resides in the United Kingdom, has discovered Apple is listing select movies as 4K and HDR in his iTunes purchase history. And he's just showing here a screenshot from his iTunes purchase history with a 2016 film Passengers listed as movie, and then in parens 4K HDR under the type column. However, he says iTunes only lets him download the movie in HD quality, which is either 720p or 1080p. So it makes you wonder if they're doing some stuff kind of behind the scenes to maybe at some point, supporting 4K HDR, because right now you can't do that. So that's the rumor part of it.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Right.
It could be a new Apple TV device coming that supports 4K.
Maybe some software update.
Well, it could be a software update. You never know if the hardware can support it. Here's another one. This is not Apple TV related. The HomePod firmware reveals further secrets on Apple's smart speaker. So somebody they pushed out the firmware update for the 349 HomePod smart speaker ahead of the device's launch in December. So somebody kind of dug into the software and they unearthed something in the code. There was some part of the code that was bearing the name Audio Accessory 1,1. That the firmware reveals that the HomePod runs a full iOS stack. It's essentially like an iPhone without a screen.
Yeah.
That's basically what they said when they started digging in the code. And relies on a shell app called Soundboard to integrate with the device's hardware.
There you go.
And he also goes on to say that in addition to revealing that the device will include accessibility features, he also found that it has references to an LED matrix, possibly relating to the area on top of the speaker with the right density could display shapes and or symbols. So interesting here. Like somebody digging through firmware.
Oh yeah, and that's how they find a lot of this stuff, digging through firmware.
And it makes sense to run in iOS. I mean, they've already got that kind of that underlying architecture. Why not just build some sort of a front end to it? It's pretty plausible, I think. And we'll save the best for last. It's another week on the Hey Techie Show. It's another iPhone rumor.
Oh, shocking.
I mean, we're getting
I'm
close.
shocked. I'm shocked that the iPhone is...
Don't fall out of your seat now.
Yeah.
Again, this is from 9 to 5 Mac. HomePod.
Oh, no, you're kidding.
Yeah. HomePod firmware seemingly confirms the iPhone 8 front design and support for Face ID, not iFace. Last week, Apple released the first build of its upcoming HomePod firmware. And of course, again, they unpacked the code to look and see what developers could find, and they found some people found the existence of an infrared face unlock in the biometric kit, which is the framework responsible for Touch ID. The code further suggests that Apple's Face Unlock feature will be able to detect partially occluded face and faces from various angles. The code name for the project is Pearl ID. Face Unlock has been a long-rumored feature of the iPhone 8. Of course, we've talked about it here many, many times. You know, some even indicating it could replace Touch ID altogether. And this is moving on from Face ID. The HomePod code also seemingly confirms the design of the iPhone 8. While this seems a bit harder to verify, the above render was hidden in the HomePod firmware. There's a picture here. It's kind of looks like a very thin bezel, almost a full front display, kind of like the Android phones that we're seeing. So there you go. There's that one. And also, this is kind of a bonus link we'll put in the show notes. Mac Rumors has got a good little page here where basically all these rumors about the iPhone 8, they've kind of put them all together. They've got an article here, and they kind of go through and kind of pull all these rumors from the internet and kind of put them all together. So, if you want to check that out, we'll put the link to that in the show notes as well. I won't go through this whole thing. It's quite a long piece here they've got. So what say you on all that, or any of that, or none of that?
Some of it's true, some of it's not.
That's true.
I mean, that's as good. That opinion's as good as $285 or $4,000 a month. I mean,
sure.
So some of this is true and some of it's not, and we'll find out in
monthish.
Yeah, whenever it releases.
Sometime in September is usually the time period when they would announce this. And I'm ready for a new phone. I don't think I'm ready for an iPhone 8 because it's probably, considering all these features it's going to have, it's probably going to be a $1,200 phone. I'm not paying that kind of money for a
This week,
telephone.
Speaking of phones, this week I had a situation. My father was having an issue, and it's odd to say the least. But anyway, he could not send media to, and sometimes even text in general, anything that had to do with a picture or anything to anyone who was not an iPhone user or an iOS user.
So like his iMessage was working, but his MMS was not.
SMS.
Well, whatever.
MMS was working.
Oh,
SMS would not have been was not working. Well, yeah, Messenger was working, but SMS wasn't working. Well, I got to digging around, and I dug. Found some people complaining about something, update recently, and so I went out and finished. I updated the phone. It said it needed update, so it was already. I'd update it. Still wasn't. So I got digging around the settings, and some reason or another, and I don't know how it happened, but his cellular data was turned off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cellular data was turned off, and that as soon as I turned that on, his SMS and they started working. He started getting texts. So
like ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I was rolling then. And I told him, I said, Dad, I really don't know how you did that. I don't know why you would have gotten in there and done that. The only thing I can think of is you thought you were going over your data limit, so you thought, come to find out, he said they had been going over some of their limit. But I don't know whether I can't think that he would have known to do that. It was, I was kind of, well, at any rate, it was interesting. So, well, look, when the Hey Techies show returns, I'm going to be holding the bag again.
Sorry.
The This Week in Tech History bag one more time. Hey Techies show. Be right back.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show. And Guru is working his fingers to the bone.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all this show notes stuff done in between breaks. That way, usually within minutes the show ending, we've got at least part of it out there.
Yeah, his part.
And like I tell Michael, please go back behind me because I probably left something out. So if you're ever watching a video, you see me over typing, that's what I'm trying to do, trying to build these things as we go. So get it out to you as soon as we humanly possibly can.
Yeah, he does a great job at that, too.
I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, you do. Guru's going to get me. Folks, I have a clue. Haven't.
You've done well the last 2 weeks. You've done it in the absence of Bruce. I mean, you've done really well, Michael. I have to give you all kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I know about that, and you've been doing a fantastic job, and I expect nothing but fantastic things this week from you.
I think there's a lot that would have happened years ago in this week. I know this is going to be hard. I just got a feeling it's going to be difficult.
You really think so?
Yeah.
You really think so?
I
don't think so. I think you're going to nail this one.
Well, as we do every Thursday, in the last 15 minutes of the wonderful Hey Techie Show program, Bruce and I, the absent Bruce and I, turn this wonderful show over to the capable, incomparable,
Bomb Diggity,
incomparable producer of the Hey Techie Show, the one, the only, the guru for this week in tech history.
And you're gonna nail it again this week. I just know it. I feel good about this.
Whatever.
And I didn't pick it just to get you to guess it. I want you to work for it. But you can do it. You can do it.
Never happened.
So you ready for your date?
Yeah.
August 3rd, 1977. He's over there thinking really hard. Got his eyes closed. He's got his eyes open.
Well, it's not Apple. I don't think. It's not MTV.
Yeah, that's pre-MTV.
That's almost pre-Michael. Not too far off there. I
can tell you for certain it wasn't the day Apple got founded because that was April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Of 76. So it could have been Apple.
No, I think the only thing, that Lisa thing was after that, wasn't it? The Apple Lisa.
That's on in the 80s.
I know. But that was this week. Sometime in the 80s.
Yeah, it wasn't 77 though.
I know that, Guru.
Let's make sure.
I don't have a clue. I'm gonna.
I'm about to buzz you.
I'm gonna guess something to do with IBM or.
No,
I haven't a clue.
You were getting lukewarm there. You just had to think about it a little more. So what happened on August the 3rd of 1977? Radio Shack introduced their first computer. Do you remember what that was called?
The Tandy? No. Which one did they?
What the model of it?
Oh.
77.
Oh. I was a kid. It
was called the TRS-80.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, some people call it the Trash 80.
The Trash 80, that's right.
So with the support of 3,500 Radio Shack stores, plus a relatively low cost, the TRS-80 helped drive the acceptance of the personal computer in the home. They originally forecasted sales of just 3,000 to 5,000 per year, but the TRS-80 sold over 10,000 units in the first month and a half of sales and 200,000 over the lifetime of the product. I wonder how long that was offered in the market. It doesn't say in this article. I'm going to try to look real quick and try to stall. There's a good little Wikipedia article on the Trash 80. It was discontinued in 81.
Discontinued in 81.
So you got to think in 4 years they sold. They said what, 200,000?
Yes,
200,000, but Wikipedia says 100,000 plus. As of October 1979, according to this.
it had that big keyboard, that honking keyboard.
Yeah, I never had a Trash 80.
No, me either. And it has in this picture what looks like a tape recorder, a tape player recorder.
Yeah. My first computer had it had a cord that came off the back, and you plugged it into a tape recorder. It had like 3 plugs. It had like the headphone jack, the mic jack, and then like a remote jack to where it could. And basically, I had games that were on like audio cassettes.
Right.
And you put it in
reading
there
it off the magnet
Yeah.
strip,
But do you remember? You don't remember. You didn't remember the thing, but the starting price of the Trash 80. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to say that because
that's fine.
It started out at $600 US. That's
back in 77,
which is equivalent to $2,400 in 2016.
Sounds familiar. Apple,
yeah,
an Apple product. It's like buying a MacBook, a nice MacBook.
Some of the notable features. I'm going on way too long, but this is interesting. It kind of compares where we're at today. A full stroke QWERTY keyboard. It's the new Zilog, Zilog Z80 processor rather than the more common Intel 8080. Had 4K of RAM. Standard 4K RAM, 4K RAM, standard memory. Many 8-bit computers then shipped with only 1K of RAM, so it's 4 times the amount of RAM of the time. It has its small size and desk footprint, its floating point basic programming language, and included 64-column video monitor. And of course, like I said, the starting price is $600 US, which is $2,400 US today. So there you go. 40 years ago today.
We have a question from Mickey Moses.
Okay.
I don't know how I missed this. Sorry, Mickey. We were wondering if there was anything for Jacksonville area besides Cable One. I really don't like paying for data cap on cable internet.
I don't blame you. I can't stand those data caps either. If you're in town,
you should be able to get AT&T.
Yes. One of my family members lives in Jacksonville, and they have UVerse at their house,
and it's very good.
Yeah.
So far, I have UVerse.
Yeah.
So far, I've been very blessed to get UVerse.
And UVerse, you can also get your television, your video service.
Yes, you could do that too.
If you're not a cord cutter, you can do that.
I mean, there's not a ton. We admit that, and so Cable One or AT&T, if you can get it available, and you can check with them if you're in town locally here.
Yeah, it's online. You can put in your address, and they'll tell you if it's
Yes.
available at your address. And if some crazy reason they don't recognize your address, you can request they check, and they'll get back with you in a couple of days. They have to research it. That's about it for high speed. Well, you can get satellite, but the problem with satellite is so slower in comparison to cable and cable. I should say DSL, cable and UVerse,
and it's going to be kind of expensive comparably.
Yes, and it has a lot of latency.
Yeah, the latency is going to kill you if you have gaming. Now, the other stuff, it should be okay.
Yeah,
but gaming, they even tell you up front, the ones I've heard of, that they're not a good gaming service.
Yeah, that's unfortunately what you're stuck with in Jacksonville, because we're not in a major metropolitan area where you're getting more choices, like with fiber providers, fiber to the curb and fiber to the home and all that. We really don't have that here because just not enough population to support that.
Oh, Mickey, I'm sorry that I did not. I saw this pop up and I did not realize it was actually from the questions. But we appreciate you sending in a question, and I will try next time to be more on top of things. But anyway, somehow I didn't see that, so we do it. But ISPs is definitely what you're looking for, and there's not many in this area, and that is an issue.
And another option, which I don't think this would work for Mickey, is because he talked about caps. Of course, he's probably consuming a lot of bandwidth, different things you can consume a lot of bandwidth with. But cellular providers, like a hotspot. But thing is if you consume a lot of bandwidth, that's going to get very expensive very fast.
Right.
Yeah. But somebody that's a casual user, maybe has just a tablet device. They don't really stream video. They want
that's
maybe
going to get you
for basic web.
But if she's
email,
but I say she, if they, I'm assuming, if they are worried about data caps, they're probably streaming some.
I'm just throwing it out there for if another listener's listening.
Correct. I know.
That's an option, but if you're going to consume a lot of bandwidth, that's not a good option.
Right.
It'll cost you a lot.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah.
And even with these unlimited data plans now, they're not really unlimited.
No.
If they think you're using too much, they can throttle you and cut you off and all that good stuff. So
yeah, I think your best bet is probably going to be invest in AT&T UVerse if you can get it in town.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be. I mean, it's going to be your only really alternative.
Yeah, and
we've said some others, but they're probably not viable.
And if you're Jacksonville proper, you probably have a good shot of getting it. Now, if you start getting on the outskirts,
correct,
you may or may not. Right. I know some people that live in Pleasant Valley, which is just north of Jacksonville. They actually can get UVerse, they can't get cable. So I would definitely take the time to go look and see if you can get your address.
Right. So, once again, thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. And we'll try harder next time to get to it more promptly.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Guru, I found a way that someone, if you're just really wanting to make money and wanting to make money quickly, I think here, and I don't know how quickly, but certainly it's an interesting way to do it. Up in Canada, apparently, Guru, a man has he trademarked his own county's name.
Really?
That he lived in.
Huh.
And it was apparently a mistake, but the organization, the government that in Canada that trademarks these things, it slipped through them. And now they are saying and telling the county, hey, the only way you're going to be able to undo it is through a lawsuit, legal action. So we've already said yes to this. The county, from what I gather, is Halliburton, which is kind of funny because I think there's a oil company, not spelled the same apparently. But
it's in Canada, though, not
yes, it's in
US.
Canada. Yes.
Well, speaking of trade,
Halliburton County.
I thought you were done.
I almost am. Halliburton County Chief Administrative Officer Mike Ritter says he's not sure how the trademark could have been allowed. Rutter says he first became aware of the issue when the county's Chamber of Commerce started receiving complaints. I guess. From what I've been told, he's saying that this Mr. Stinson, who registered, would go around talking to businesses, saying that if they were using the name Halliburton, they owed him money because he owned
Halliburton.
Yeah,
he wants his money.
So anyway,
so this is sort of related to that. We got 5 minutes. I should be able to get this in less than that.
I hope so.
So there's this guy, and he has a website, like. We have a HeyTechiesShow.com.
Sure.
His website is called allofgarden.com.
Yeah.
ALLOFgarden.com. And it's a website that he's using to chronicle his quest to eat as much Olive Garden pasta as possible via the never-ending pasta pass. That's fine. It's his website. It's on the internet. It's his. So we have HeyTechiesShow.com. So there you go. But anyway, this is. I meant to bring this up last week. We didn't get to it. So within the last few weeks, he announced that he had received what appeared to be a legal demand email from Darden, which is the Olive Garden's parent company, that claimed alleged trademark infringement because he had used the phrase Olive Garden on his website. Malone, the guy, his name is last name Malone. He ridiculed the man in a response that he posted publicly, in which he accurately described the concept as nominative fair use, the trademark equivalent of fair use in copyright law. And according to the screenshot of an email from Darden, the company said it would, quote, take no further action related to the letter that you received as long as you continue to respect our brand. And then it said in parens, the last part was from legal with a smiley.
Oh, of course.
And the company also offered to send him a $50 gift card and an additional fun surprise.
Oh, how nice of them.
Yeah. So, and his response, the guy's response was here, and it's a limerick, and he wanted them to respond in kind with a limerick. But you can read it. We don't really have a lot of time to go into it. But I want to bring that up because, yeah, there's trademark, and you can't, and it kind of goes off your thing, but he's got a site. It's almost like if you went to Yelp.com or TripAdvisor and you reviewed, I stayed at such and such hotel brand, or I ate at such and such restaurant and I liked it or I didn't like it. It's a review. It's editorial content, right? And you have to make mention of the name of the establishment,
right? Exactly.
In order to be able to tell people, well, I ate at such and such restaurant down there on Pelham Road and whatever street.
Right.
It doesn't work. So I mean, yeah, he's within his fair use to mention that.
You would think so. Yeah.
And of course, the parent company of Olive Garden didn't like it, so they tried to be a big bully.
Yeah.
And he just I just love the way he shot him down. Said.
Yeah, I mean, really, they didn't have anything to gain here. I mean, it's not like he was hurting them.
No.
Per se. I mean, I don't know. Why the company, I know why, I guess from the legal standpoint, I can understand why companies do this. I guess if they scare enough off, they won't have these.
It's probably for the legal department to justify their existence to the company.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it could be.
And also, you have to think too. Companies have to defend their trademark.
They do.
Unlike copyright, where like this us talking here, this is our original work. So we own the copyright to this. You take a photo, you own the copyright.
Correct.
To the photo.
Right. Exactly right.
Trademarks are different. Companies have to go register said trademark. Right. And then if they feel like it's being infringed upon, it's their responsibility to defend it.
Exactly right.
Because things like the term Xerox and Kleenex have almost become a common term because those companies did not defend it like they should in the past.
Exactly right.
You know, we got a Xerox machine over there in the corner. Well, it's not the brand Xerox. It's a copier.
Right.
But, you know. I don't want to get into trademark copyright. I know too much about that from taking classes in college about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had an ethics and legal issue class I'd taken computer
there
science.
You go.
And a lot we talked about trademark and copyright a lot.
Yeah. Well.
So, there you go.
Hey, I talked about the Canadian guy. We just talked about this. But did you know, and we don't have a lot of time here, but I'll just real quickly, you can look it up. Britain, it is said, they're going to ban gasoline and diesel cars, sales of them by 2040.
Won't hold my breath.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, maybe not, but over in Britain, I would not.
I guess a lot of people didn't think they would actually do Brexit either, and they voted Brexit, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never know.
So there's more to that, but anyway, we'll leave it in the overclock stack notes for this week. Well, look, we appreciate you so much as our listeners, and Guru and I have had a great time tonight, had a lot of fun, laughed, and covered a lot of interesting topics. And if you want to know more about the show, or you're interested in learning more, or you want to listen to some back episodes, do not forget HeyTechiesShow.com. And you can listen to our back episodes. Well, I do want to tell you, we still don't have a Hey Techies Rewind. The system is down and has not been replaced. We're hoping that does happen at some point. So from all of us to all of you, have a fabulous weekend.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.